Hello, everyone. I'm Esperanza Walsh, and this is Art from the Heart at St. Augustine's Church. We are still doing the session remotely because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And today's session is one of my favorites. It's about negative painting. Negative painting is actually when you paint around your object and you uh, add more and more color around it. Oh, to give you a better idea, I have an illustration here. Okay, I have three circles. We're going to do an exercise on this afterwards. For these three circles, the first one, okay, let me just put it down so I can show it better. Okay, the first one, okay, this one, and then the second one behind the first one, and then the third one, which is behind the second one. So there's actually three layers. To illustrate that better, I think I have a couple of tape rolls that we can use to illustrate. So, for example, this is the layer far behind, like so, and then this is the next layer, which is this one in the middle, and then the layer in front. Okay, so something like that. Okay, now what we do, okay, is to paint around the first one first. That's why we see here there's no paint here. And then we continue to paint the rest of it. So we cover this and this. As you can see, I've encircled this with pink, and I put slanted pink lines everywhere except for this. The next thing I am going to do is to um, draw green lines. So this time I am painting around the first one and around the second one. So that's why we have this pink one here and the green one here. So everything outside those, we will put that green lines around them. So we've done that. So we now have these two objects. Now for the third one, we're going to do something similar. So as you can see, I have the orange line here around the circle. And then for this one, we uh, draw slanted, horizontal orange lines everywhere except for the first, second, and third circle. So everything in the pink one, everything in the green one, everything in the orange one will not have those orange lines. So that's just a demonstration of how negative painting works. So I just wanted to illustrate that to you. Now we are going to do an actual exercise. So let's start. We're going to get a sheet of paper. I have one right here. And okay, let me just get a clipboard. Yes, so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I think this is very good because it's black, so we can see whatever is on top. So I'm just going to draw simple shapes. Again, we saw a circle earlier, so that's the first one. And then another circle, well, almost a circle, and then another one. Okay, now I am going to decide which circle is on top, which one is behind. Okay, I've decided that this will be the one on top, so closest to the viewer. So this will be closest to the viewer, followed by the one in the middle. Okay. So I'm just going to darken the lines a little bit so we can see them better. But you don't have to darken them on your sheet. I'm just doing this so you can see them. And yes, I know they don't look like for perfect circles, but that's all right. Because the goal here is not to draw a circle. Our goal is actually to demonstrate what negative painting is. So we are still on the right track. Okay, so we have the second one. So now we have two of them. Now let's go to the third one. Remember, you don't have to make the lines as bold as this one. This is just for you to see, in case my camera's resolution is not that good. Well, hopefully it is, because I would love you to see all the details that I am doing on the art piece. So this is how it looks. Okay, so now we will apply negative painting for this particular art piece. So again, this is the illustration, and we will do it here. Let me just get my watercolor. And for this activity, I'm still using pans. But again, if you're comfortable using tubes, please use tubes. If you're comfortable using pans, please use pans. So you are not required to use any particular type of watercolor. Remember, what is comfortable for you would be the best one to use. Okay, I'm gonna go for a light color for this one. So I'm just going to paint everything with water so that I can have a flat wash. Okay. And again, I am going to choose a light color. So I'm going to choose a yellow ochre. Yeah, let's use yellow ochre. So I'm going to paint around the first one. Let me do that first. And look how beautiful the color spreads in the water. I love it. Let me just continue. So I'm just going to move it around. Okay, and the next step here is just to let it dry. So while it's wet, we can't paint over it, so we're going to let it dry. Okay, the first layer is now dry. Now for the second layer, uh, again, as I mentioned earlier, make sure that the layer is completely dry. Now for the second layer, I can't do a flat wash doing this same technique I did for this layer of yellow ochre. So because we might accidentally lift some of the paint off. So what I am going to do is to loosely mix watercolor on my palette. Okay, so for this one, I'm recycling some colors from my tube. And I am going to paint around this first one and around the second one. Okay, so let me just add more water to my red paint to make it loose. Okay, I think that should be good. And then I just paint around this one. I'm going to try and do it really quickly. Okay. Sorry. We're doing great so far. Okay, now I have to go back here. And there we go. So for this round, oh, I need to remove the excess paint. They're causing puddles. So for this one, again, we have to let the paint dry. But as you can see, we can already see that difference in colors. So again, we'll give it a few minutes for the paint to dry. And then we will paint the next layer. And the second layer is now dry. As we can see, we see this white area, this yellow area, and this sort of orange area because of the layer of yellow ochre, and the diluted red paint. Now we are going to paint a layer of cerulean blue. Okay, let me just get some and dilute it. I'm just going to make sure it's dilute enough so we can spread it easily. Again, remember, as we put the layers on, we should be careful not to lift the colors that are already there. Okay, so I'm gonna start. And for this particular layer, we're going to paint everything except for the 3 circles. And there we go. So now we have 3 layers. And we have demonstrated what negative painting is. So let's look at those. So again, unlike the typical way we would do it, let's say we would paint this yellow, we would paint this orange, and around it we will paint, excuse me, we will paint blue. What we did here was apply negative painting. So paint one color around the first circle, then paint another color around the first two circles, then paint another color around the first 3 circles. So I hope you enjoyed this session, negative painting, and we will have more negative painting and its application. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.